What's good, YouTube? You know who it is. Chef D, back at it again for Chef State of Mind. And today, we're gonna be making something that's good for those winter and fall months, something that's gonna warm your heart, warm your soul. We're gonna be making chicken and dumplings, all right? Now, this has been highly anticipated from a lot of people that I know personally that love my chicken and dumplings and want the recipe, okay? Remember, you can find this recipe for only 1 week at heritagesupperclub.com. It's right here, all right? It's right here, right across my chest. Make sure you go there and get the full recipe and make this for your friends and family. And they will love you forever, all right? So, you may be asking yourself, what am I gonna need other than chicken, huh? What? So, right here we got about 2 onions that have been diced. We have some baby carrots. You can use regular carrots if you want, just dice those the same size as the onions. Then we have about 5 to 4 stalks of celery, all right? Diced in the same size. And then, let me lift this up. We have a whole chicken, all right? Now, you could use like chicken parts. You can use like chicken breast, chicken thighs, chicken wings, whatever you want to use. But to get the best flavor, the best texture, the best combination of light meat, dark meat, all right? You want to use a whole chicken. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get a lot of the marrow and gelatin out of those bones. That's just gonna add flavor and it's just gonna add richness, all right? All right, guys. So here's those vegetables I was talking about. So I said 2 onions, some celery, baby carrots. That's it, okay? As far as vegetables, that is all you need. You can add garlic in there if you want to. I'll probably add some of that. Kind of just forgot until now, but you know, this is all one take, guys, all right? So you may be asking yourself, how are we gonna break down this chicken? I have a video right here, on how to do it. It's on a turkey, but it's the same exact anatomy, all right? But we're gonna do this a little bit different because we don't need it to be the perfect kind of cuts. It can just be, I can cut it down the middle if I want to. I could throw it in whole if I wanted to. But anybody who has a little bit of a smaller pot may find this way of breaking it down a little bit easier. But I have a larger pot where this whole thing would fit. But I kind of want to just break it down for the purposes of this video. All right. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna want a nice cleaver to be able to do this. I just want to cut that neck off. We're gonna use this, all right? We are still gonna use this. We paid for this bird, we're gonna use the whole thing. So you're gonna feel right here for this spine, and you're literally just gonna go right through it, all right? Just like that, okay? Just gonna split it right down the center. Then you're gonna see this breastbone, all right? Just like that. See, it's super easy, all right? And see that bone marrow in there? See all this bone? You want that. That's gonna increase the viscosity of our finished product. Now, we're just gonna separate the thigh from the breast, just like that. So now we have our 4 primal pieces, all right? It's super easy. Okay, so you see where you're gonna have loose skin right here. It's easier if you just puncture that a little bit, and you can see right inside the bird, see right where you're cutting, okay? Then you're eventually gonna hit where the spinal cord is. Just snap it just like that. Take your knife, boom, super easy. That took all of what? Maybe a minute. If I wasn't talking, it would have took me 15 seconds, all right? So, we're gonna wash our hands. We're gonna get our pot ready. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so I believe this is a 2-gallon pot. That should be just big enough to get all our ingredients in and make sure we have enough room to stir. So we're just gonna put a little bit of oil, pretty much just to cover the bottom of the pan because we're gonna have to saute our vegetables, all right? You could substitute this for butter, but since we're doing it on a high heat, you want to make sure you have that high smoke point to ensure that we don't burn our butter or burn whatever we're using, okay? So we're gonna wait for this to get hot. You can see it's already a little bit hot. When your oil starts to get a little, starts to get the viscosity of something like water, that's how you know it's hot enough. You see whiffs of smoke coming up, you know it's hot enough, all right? So we're just gonna throw all of this in here. You don't have to throw the vegetables in stages. It's all gonna cook at the same time, all right? Remember, that's why we cut all our vegetables the same size, or roughly the same size, so that it cooks evenly, okay? You wanna just move these around as soon as you throw them in a pot, just to get them all covered with oil. And you're gonna saute this until the onions start to turn translucent, all right? This is black pepper and salt, all right? Remember, we're getting all that flavor from these vegetables, and then we're getting it from our chicken. I'm gonna do a nice generous pitch of salt, all right? Remember, we're not just salting these vegetables, we're salting our chicken also, okay? So, once our onions start to turn translucent, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so our onions are just starting to turn translucent. It's been about 2 minutes. Remember, this is on high heat. And when we added that salt was mainly to draw a lot of that moisture out of these vegetables. And that in turn helps them not to brown, not to burn. We don't want any kind of color, right? Usually that's a good thing, but in this case, we do not want that. So, I have a sprig of rosemary. Just gonna throw that whole thing in there. You could use dry rosemary if you want to. Just add a little bit less because dry rosemary is a lot more potent than fresh rosemary. Then we have something called marjoram. Marjoram is something that I love to use in like turkeys, chickens, any kind of poultry, all right? That's a nice subtle flavor. It's kind of like a bay leaf. When it's not in there, you kind of miss it, all right? And we also have oregano. It's just gonna add a lot of herbaceousness to our chicken and dumplings, all right? So we're gonna let all those flavors bloom. Gonna let it cook maybe about another minute. We'll be right back. We've let our vegetables bloom a little bit. A lot of the moisture is starting to evaporate. Now we're gonna add a little bit of apple cider vinegar, all right? It's just gonna add a little bit of tang. It's gonna break up a lot of the fat that we're gonna add into this, just so your tongue doesn't get weighed down and it stays a little bit light, all right? That's about a tablespoon, maybe 2. Remember, we don't measure much here on Chef State of Mind. We like to cook from our heart, cook from our soul. And that's what Heritage Supper Club is all about. It's cooking with emotion and purpose, all right? Anybody can just follow a recipe. It takes a real cook, a real chef that can look at a list of ingredients and create something out of that, create something that's beautiful, tasty, and nourishing at the end of the day, all right? We have our chicken right here. We're just gonna put those right into our pot. Okay, we're gonna wash our hands. It's less about the measurement, more about what it does in the pot. You want it to cover that chicken, all right? And then we're just gonna let this come up to a boil. I'm gonna turn it down to a simmer, and then gonna let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour, right? And that, in the meantime, we're gonna make our dumpling mix, all right? The star of this show. You may think that this broth is a star, but it's truly the dumplings because it's nice and pillowy, nice and light. It's not dense like a lot of dumplings. All right, guys, so our chicken is almost done. And now we're gonna make our dumpling mix, all right? So what you're gonna need is Right here we have about, well not about, we have exactly 1.5 cups of AP flour. Now, if you have white lily flour, that is what you want to use, okay? Because it's a lot softer and it's gonna lead to a better dumpling all around. And then we're gonna put in 1 tablespoon of double acting baking powder. This is a half tablespoon here, so that's why I'm adding 2, but all you need is 1 tablespoon, all right? Then we're gonna do a half tablespoon of salt, just like that. And then we have some, I'm using almond milk right now, but this recipe calls for buttermilk. I just want to use almond milk, see how it turns out. If you want to use almond milk like I am, just add about a teaspoon, half teaspoon of lemon juice just to add some acidity. That's what's gonna help activate our double acting baking powder, right? Because remember, baking powder is activated by 1 is liquid, 2 is acid, all right? So we're just gonna whisk this, get everything nice and evenly combined. Gonna make a little bit of a well. And then just gonna add in our milk product, okay? You don't wanna mix this too much. You just wanna mix it to where everything comes together, all right? You want it to be pretty thick. You don't want it to be real runny because when you put this into the pot, it's just gonna separate. So you want it to be relatively thick, a little bit thicker than maybe the same consistency of pancake batter. And that was about 3/4 of a cup of milk, all right? And that's it, super simple. All right, guys. So as you saw, we picked our chicken and I left it in nice big chunks. All right. So I have another pot here. What we're gonna do is ladle some of this into here. This is what we're actually gonna make our dumplings in. All right. Don't mind the sizzling. I had this on the stove. Just to warm it up a little bit, all right? So you just want to get some liquid in there. Gonna turn your heat up to high, okay? You take that rosemary out. And now, as it starts to boil, all right, so we have some butter. It's about a tablespoon worth of butter. So now this is up to a boil. I'm gonna get a spoon. Oh, got it right here. You could use an ice cream scoop if you have one. I don't at the moment. But we're gonna turn this down to a simmer. You do not want this to be at a roll boil because that's just gonna disrupt your dumplings and they won't be nice and fluffy. It's just gonna break them apart, all right? So we're gonna just drop some dumplings in there. Depending on the size of your pot, you may be able to get 3 in there. You may be able to get just 2. I want you guys to know you have to you cannot make these dumplings and store them overnight. You have, if you want to heat this up the next day or freeze it and save it for later, you cannot keep these dumplings overnight. All right, guys. So we just took the lid off. Our dumplings are pretty much all the way cooked. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull them out, all right? So remember, I have 4 here. We sit those right at the bottom of our bowl, all right? And that's what they look like, all right? Look at those, beautiful, all right? See that rosemary on top because we did a whole sprig, remember? Now, what you wanna do is you wanna taste it, okay? Okay? Needs just a touch of salt, all right? Now what you want to do is, you want to get your chicken. And And I just like to put the chicken pretty much right in the bowl, all right? So you get those nice chunks. So now, just gonna ladle that right in there. Okay. Now, I don't like a lot of liquid in mine. Just like it, just like that. All right. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Super hot. Super. It's heavy, but it's also refreshing. All right. It's just hard to describe this this chicken and dumpling recipe. It is probably one of the best recipes that I have in my arsenal. All right. All right, guys. So this is it. All right. Got a little bit of hot sauce. Trust me, it may sound crazy, but this is like the secret ingredient. All right. I usually do a fermented hot sauce, but I'm all out because that stuff is so good. If you want a recipe on that, please, just if one person says, I want you to show me how to make it, I will make that video. That's how good it is, all right? And I need more anyway. It'll give me an excuse to make it. All right, guys, so this chicken and dumplings, I need to hurry up and end this video because I cannot wait to eat it. As always, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that. Videos over here, subscribe over here. As always, I'm Chef D, for Chef State of Mind. Make sure you guys go to heritagesupperclub.com to get this full recipe and instructions, all right? Thank you so much.